Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Tuesday to you. We're going to take a look here at Solana. I got a request from one of my community members, Dr. D. Thank you very much for requesting that I cover this here. I really greatly appreciate, again, all of your support. That being said, I'm not a financial advisor. If you're new to the channel, love teaching people how to trade. Hope you can learn something here today. I do have a trading academy community and signal group. Link in the description below for CryptoCache.tech if you want to become a better trader. Simply put, I do offer third world country discounts, basically low income housing and military, so feel free to message me directly if that does fit your profile. That being said, what we're going to do is look at Solana big picture and of course see what is happening here. So, when it comes to Solana, it had a pretty strong increase. We got to recognize that. So it's profitable even still for most, at least up until recently. It was a profitable coin, okay? That being said, when coins shoot up like this, the inevitability of shooting down is very high, especially when Bitcoin misbehaves, which we've seen ever since November. Big surprise, Solana's been on a downtrend since November. Okay, so again, it's pretty much following Bitcoin in a lot of ways, but we want to try to identify, how and what it's doing. And of course, try to see, kind of what's going to happen next. Now, if we look at this most recent past year, we can kind of see this is very, very similar to Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin has a very, very close looking chart here to this. So if you are considering buying Solana, keep in mind, it hasn't truly found its bottom yet. It is in its average true range, and let's talk about that really quick here. In other words, if we go with kind of the previous, let's see here, one-day candlestick close high, just go ahead and draw that out there. And then kind of go with the previous one-day candlestick close low. We can kind of see there's a bit of a channel here. This is essentially right where we're at right now with the price point. In fact, you could even argue that the current price is really close to that Fibonacci retracement level of about $60. And that was essentially the all-time high before it went on its momentous trend to the upside. That being said, with us being in that channel or really close to it, we got to understand that this is the range that we could be stuck to depending on how Bitcoin performs. All right. In other words, a close above this level would be very important. So just say a close above $60 is a round number. I think that's equally as important because if you look here, we're at it was like $59 was a stopping point, and then if we look back here previously, right around $59, $58.50 was the highest point. Okay, so 58 to 60 is a pretty obvious area that we can kind of understand is going to be potential resistance for the moment until we break back above, potential support once we get there. So for now, we can anticipate that the price will probably stay underneath or below that, just based on the simple fact that we're expecting Bitcoin to kind of go sideways and down from here. It could rally, very true, and if so, we might seize that from Solana. But in general, is there potential for Solana to come down lower? The answer is yes. It definitely can, and probably likely should if Bitcoin goes to where we're expecting, somewhere in the 20 to 24,000 range. Okay, if we see that kind of price point from Bitcoin, you know darn well Solana is not going to maintain a price point of $58. Okay, just throwing it out there. So anyways, looking at some of the specifics here. When it comes to the moving averages, we're below all three. Never a good sign. We're back up above 30 in the RSI, very similar to Bitcoin as well. We also have a potential MACD convergence on Bitcoin too in the daily, which really just tells us that the bears are losing control. But it's easy to say that because if you see this momentous downtrend, like that was a significant percent in only about a week's worth of trading. So almost 60% down for Solana in a roughly 1 week. So that kind of decrease in value will absolutely throw things off here to make it look like the bulls are back in control when truth be told, it's just that overextension calming down and going sideways from here. Okay, so don't try to read into that. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to have a convergence and it's instantly a bullish, okay? There's a lot of reasons why that's not true. Specifically with the macro on Bitcoin, take a look at my other videos that I make every single day if you want to understand more about that, because that's the important thing to understand. 90 to 95% of coins right now are moving synonymous with Bitcoin. Solana is no exception. Regardless of fundamentals, whatever, it's still definitely holding true to that. So looking at the moving averages here, we are at a point of contention. We can see the 20 intersecting with the 50 potentially here, but it does look like the 50-day SMA is working the price action down. Okay, so again, never a great sign there. We're also just barely up over 50 on the RSI. That can potentially work as a support level, so it doesn't mean we're we're out of the woods, but we're also not in great shape either, due to the fact that that's been tested for quite some time. Last 24 hours, the price is wanting to come down lower, and it hasn't quite yet. Once again, this is exactly what Bitcoin's doing. All right, and then we also got the MACD kind of just running synonymous with another. Really not a big deal. We don't want to read into that either. Moving on to just say the 1 hour. We are, and again, this is very similar to Bitcoin. We're making higher highs and higher lows still. Okay. Now, there's no guarantees it's going to continue that, but so far, the trend is up. All right. So obviously, the trend is up ever since it hit its lowest point of 37.25. We can expect the price to continue to progress upwards in the overall sense of the micro telling us so far that we haven't printed lower lows yet. All right. So until we break that trend, right, we can anticipate the price will continue to go higher. Once again, how much longer will that hold? How much longer will that last? Probably not super long, if at all. We might actually be starting the downtrend right now. And I just like to kind of bring that to your attention because once again, the macro, big picture is bearish for Bitcoin. And if we've already established that Solana is synonymous with Bitcoin in a lot of ways, why not respect the overall big picture and expect the price to continue to progress lower? I think that would be a good mindset to be in for the moment, just based on the simple fact that we're not seeing a tremendous amount of strength. So yes, higher highs and higher lows are nice. That's a trend, and it hasn't broken yet. Until we break this trend, we can expect it to potentially increase. But there's a strong chance that we're getting this rejection at $59/$60, just like we're seeing at 31,000 for Bitcoin or 31.5, right in that range. And that is holding the price action in place. And until we can break through that cleanly, in other words, a one-day candlestick close for Bitcoin in the 32,000 range, for example, then and only then I'll be convinced that we're rallying back up to potentially test the key level resistances. Same scenario goes for this as well. We probably will not see $59 broken in the immediate future, but it'll probably consider retesting that again unless it goes down. So I know there's kind of a lot of, there's no definitive answer. I'm sorry, I can't tell you specifically which direction it wants to go. The macro is telling us it should go down. The micro is telling us it wants to go up. So take whatever you want from that. To me, I don't like seeing that sign until we have more micro behavior translating into the macro. So in other words, when the 1 hour is performing nicely and the 4 hour isn't, that's not a good sign for me. I prefer the 4 hour to be giving us some really positive signs. We don't have those just yet. All right, again, the 4 hour time frame for me is a transitionary time frame. It takes what's on the 1 hour and translates that into the 1 day, and we need consistency on the 4 hour to be able to get that true shift in momentum. So pay attention to Bitcoin, watch my other videos if it helps, and just make sure you know what that coin is doing, because it's really the one coin to rule them all. All right, so it is literally Sauron in this example, if that makes any sense to any of those Lord of the Rings fans. All right, anyways, that's really all I have here today. Not much else to really note. Pretty straightforward. Solana is behaving the way that it should, considering every other coin is doing the exact same thing. So just recommend you be cautious and careful moving forward. Thanks again for the request to my current community members, of course. And if you're not currently one, feel free to consider joining. CryptoCache.tech is a site. Once again, I have military and third world country discounts. And moving forward, I do look forward to hopefully working with you inevitably someday. So have yourself a great rest of your day. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next one.